Hi everyone, how are we going? Just a quick one on citrus because a lot of emails come through. So I thought I'd just come up and have a look at my little grove down here. I've got the 10 trees, and please don't mind the capeweed. This is what happens when you get wet weather and a little bit of a spike in temperature. Capeweed comes up this time of the year. We don't have cows on the paddock, thank God for that, but we do have to brush the capeweed. So we've got a lime tree here, a little bit of discoloration, wind blown on this side. This is what happens with citrus. I don't like it. They get blown over, but we have got a lime on here. It's yellowing, so that's super ripe. Got to take that off. They start off green. Don't mind my dirty hands. I'll show you what I'll be doing afterwards. So if you've got a tree that's discolouring and it's got fruit on it, like a citrus that is, take the fruit off so you can put the energy back into the foliage. It's time to feed all your fruit trees and citrus trees, compost, manure, black grit and all the above. We're also going to come up to the season for doing air layering. Now I did this last year, I haven't removed it yet. This is the pod that I'm talking about, the air layering pod. So that's growing roots on the branch of a tree while it's still attached to the tree. And then after 3 months, 6 months, once the roots have established inside, you take off that branch from the base of the air layering pod and you plant it out. So we'll inspect that a little bit later, still a little bit early for it because I did it right at the end of the season. No root development. Now's the season to be doing the air layering, so we'll demonstrate that in the next couple of days. But have a look at this. We've got some fruit here, beautiful. We've got fruit here established. This is a lemon tree, obviously. So we're going to get fruit all year round on this one here. Now the leaves are a little bit, well, that's that marking there. Don't worry about that because I was brush cutting here, and that's just dirt there, leaf cuttings from the brush cutter for all over it. So the leaves are not too bad, nice and dark. The orange tree, the mandarin tree over here still got a bit of a curl in its leaf. Not much I can do with this at the moment. It's well hydrated. Give it a light feed. I don't want to give it too much. It's been cold. That's rust. It's gone away now, so that's not going to affect it, but the new growth's coming through. These will settle down as the weather starts to warm up, and I'm going to liquid feed these just to kick them on a little bit. But that's not what I'm doing today. I'm just having a quick look. What do we got here? Orange. Lots of flowers coming on. See that? Plenty of flowers. These are only been in the ground a year, if that. And with all my trees, once I plant them and feed them, I just leave them so they can bear the best of nature, basically, the good and bad weather that comes through. I obviously try to attend to them if they get really bad. And having a look here, so we've got orange, mandarin, again, leaf curling, typical on the mandarin. Cold weather, you want to put it to that, that's fine. Look at this lemon. This one's gone yellow on me. This is going to need a serious feed now, so I've got to feed this one here. By comparison to the orange over there is okay. This is yellow, and that orange there, is that an orange? I think it is. That is doing superb, really well. What have we got here? Yep, orange. TOC, Summer Navel. That's doing really well. Lots of flowers on that. That needs a feed. And they're only about 3 metres apart, and you can see how different the soil can be from one tree to the other. So don't say it's the tree itself, it's your soil. Your soil can vary quite dramatically. Now that's yellowing off, that's doing well. I've got to feed those two. And this lime tree's copped a beating. Have a look at this. Burnt leaves on the tips here. It's lost a little bit of there. Now this could be frostbite. The frost has knocked that out. Could be no, it's not dehydration, it's frost. It has to be frost. And we've had a little bit of leaf miner in the warmer season. This needs a light prune. See all the bottom branches down here, all the spindly stuff? Got to cut all that off. I wish I had my secateurs here. I should be walking around with them all the time. So I've got to cut all that off, clean up all these tips here. We've got fruit on it. There's no problem with that. So we've got some fruit down here, and we've got more flowers coming on everywhere. So the tree, look, it's recovered. It's got a nice colour on it. It just needs a good prune. And it looks a little bit worse for wear because we've got harsh conditions. I've gone into some backyards where they're really nice and protected environments. There's little microclimates going on because of the fence line, houses, but larger trees. And they look really soft, the foliage on these plants. They look really lush, relaxed. The leaves don't look like they've been through a war zone. Whereas these plants here, these have gone through hell and back with the weather, from frost to high winds to dehydration, excessive sun on them as well. And they're bearing all the worst type of weather you can have, all the extreme weather.
They're bearing?
Yeah, look, they're bearing all types of extreme weather. Hot, cold, windy, sunny, dry, and that's why they look a little bit more leathery. It doesn't mean it's not going to be productive. All I've got to do is just maintain them, get them to a good size, and once they get to a larger size, make sure they're always fertilised, and hopefully the fruit's not too sour either. Oh, look at that lemon tree down there. First orange that I'm picking off this orange tree, folks. Late navel, so a little bit early. Oh wow, that is sweet as. A little bit firm on the outside, put a bit more black grit on it so I could soften it up, but let me get into it. Oh, seriously, that is really sweet. That is really sweet. Not bad for a little tree. I'm going to leave it on a little bit more, just to get a bit more into it. It's juicy as already. It's doing really well. So the lime tree, the orange tree is doing well, and even the mandarin. I don't expect to see any fruit, but the orange tree was happy to fruit for me. These are the espaliers that I've done. This is bringing on some flowers on now too. So another year, we'll have this wall covered completely with it. They weren't half the size, but just over half the size they were. But look at this lemon tree. Look at this. If you haven't seen the segment that I did on this a while ago, we had a broken pipe here. You can see what's happened, how the soil's collapsed down here. It's all sunken down. We backfilled it up the top there, but this was holding water back then. And the lemon trees were basically, well, it was basically sitting in water. Now, I took all the fruit off it. I gave it a feed. I haven't given it another one. I should have given it another fertilise since then, if not two. But what I think I'm going to do with this one now is actually dig it up and inspect the roots on it. So tomorrow, this will be our little segment for tomorrow. We're going to come here and dig up this tree, see what's going on, put it back in there again and clean it up. If it's really, wet, the soil, like my tomato seedlings you saw the other day or yesterday, they were sitting in the little cells, the plastic cell trays, and it was stagnant, the soil, holding too much moisture, meaning no airflow coming through there. It was going to start to smell, and I reckon that's what's happening here. The tree's sitting in wet feet, because everything else is fine. This one isn't, so we'll dig this one up, and hopefully we can fix it. Have a look at this mandarin. This is in the grow pots that we got here, the felt bags. This has got no leaf curl on it, little bit light on the colour there on the old leaves. The new ones are pretty good. I'm pretty happy with that. Another top off of fertiliser will be really good, but look at the comparison. If you come around here, this is amazing. You can actually appreciate how soft the leaf is. So this is our little microclimate here, not the most protected environment, but a lot more than it is down below where you saw earlier with the other mandarins and even the espalier tree. They cop a lot of wind there. This doesn't get the wind because we've got the big Italian stone pines there, and we've got a couple of peppercorn trees and the conifer hedge on this side as well that's protecting it all. So this is a really nice protected environment, and that's why the leaves look nice and soft. So yeah, I'm happy with that. Grapefruit. We've got one grapefruit on here. All right, well, is that ripe or not? I'm not going to taste it. That's getting there. That's going to be a huge tree. That's sunburn. Look at that. See the white colour? How it's gone like that there? That's sunburn. That's all that is. That'll come good. And another lemon tree over here. Now this one's protected, more protected than the other ones. Look how soft it is. I've got to cut this down. Wow, full of fruit, full of fruit. I don't know if I want to cut it down actually. I should have cut it down a long time ago. I might. This is what happens, isn't it? We all say we're going to cut it, we never do, and I don't practice what I preach. But look, yeah, this has to come down to here again so it can open up. Otherwise, it's going to get top heavy. But you know what? Again, soft leaves, really well protected environment, nowhere near as harsh as the other trees. And this is the other area of citrus, folks. And again, mandarin, leaf curl, because it gets a lot of wind here. I thought it was actually protected here, but it's nowhere near as protected as the little fire pit area we have there. And this is what I've been doing today with the help of some friends, family. Getting involved, we cut the, hello, oh, you're going to have some orange? You're not going to have some orange. With the help of some friends here, we've been cutting back the catnip and pulling out the weeds, and that's what you've got to do now. If you've got any herbaceous plants that are a bit woody looking, haven't been cut back yet, it's time to do it. All the new growth's coming up around the base, and it's time to feed your plants, folks. Feed all your citrus trees, all your fruit trees, and all your gardening, in fact. Get out there and put your favourite compost. Keep it natural, keep it safe, keep it organic, keep it real, because if it's an edible garden, whatever you put into it, your plants are going to take up and you're going to put it back in your stomach. So if you're not into the chemicals and you don't like using them, don't put them in your garden, because that's where it's going to end up, back in the kitchen again. So keep it natural. That's all I could say to you. And if you're looking for something great to check out, go to our website, facilitiesgarden.com. We've got some great specials. Lockdown again, get into the garden, get some respite in your own garden, earth yourself, get your hands in the soil. That's what I've been doing today, digging holes, pulling weeds out and doing a little bit of pruning. And I feel a lot better after that, and I'm sure you too will enjoy yourself if you get out into the garden. Facilitiesgarden.com, up to 65% off everything online and 70% off Black Grit, and there's also a code word where you get a bonus discount. Check it all out, facilitiesgarden.com. From me, Vasily, Maresi.